everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs.
And I'm David Woldingen.
And Braggin Rights is upon us. So it's kind of time for us to take stock of what Mizzou basketball has done so far this season. Take a quick look at Braggin Rights itself and just kind of where we're at looking forward with Mizzou basketball. Before we begin with all that, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for the notifications, and find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X. All right, David, it's Bragging Rights. It's, one of the marquee events on the Mizzou calendar.
Yeah, I circle it every year. Living just outside of St. Louis, go to the game every year. Kind of marks off the holiday season for me. So it's something enjoyable. I don't have to drive all the way to Columbia for it. And it's just a fun one. And to me, it just welcomes the holiday season, if you will.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not Christmas until this game happens. Let's be honest with ourselves. And Bragging Rights really hasn't got started till the Statue of Liberty pose competition gets going during one of the TV timeouts. But taking a kind of a step back from this game and looking at Mizzou basketball to this point, David, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, Mizzou's had a real problem just finding their own identity and what they want to do,
Yeah.
especially on the offensive side of the ball. We don't really have the one go-to guy like Kobe Brown was last year. One could argue Sean East, but even he's had his struggles in a couple of the games. So, I mean, it's a mixed bag. Plus, you had Gates early on in the season playing around with the rotation. And in my opinion, when he does that, it always messes with the flow of the game. But over the last couple of games, he's starting to shorten that. People are starting to feel more comfortable in their roles. Against the Kansas game, they played a lot better. They lost to Seton Hall, although it's looking like Seton Hall is a much better team than we thought after they knocked off number 5 UConn. So I don't know how to assess the team, quite honestly, other than it's a transition year. We knew they were going to be not as good as last year. But this Bragging Rights game, if they want any chance at the NCAA tournament, is a must win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. All margin for error is gone because one, you lost an opportunity for a nice neutral court win against a decent to solid team in Seton Hall. You lost that. And there are no more games left, really, for the non-conference after bragging rights. You have Central Arkansas, who I looked there, 3-10 or something like that. So let's say you get the win. I mean, I don't assume any win for the most part after the Jackson State debacle, but let's say you get that win. I mean, gosh, it's what a Q4. Come on, it's not going to bolster the resume by any means. So, yeah, if Missouri wants to make the NCAA tournament, barring some sort of massive change where they go 12-6, 13-5 in the SEC, this is it. This is a must win.
Well,
And
and just to add
that,
to that, the
yeah, go
SEC
ahead.
looks super strong this year. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a gauntlet to try scrape together wins in the SEC. And with the talent level of this team, unless they can really pull it all together and then start finding a couple of go-to guys, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Sean East is the go-to guy on this team. And what I mean by that is when they need something, they are going to him. Is he a full-on go-to guy? Is he a dude? Sometimes. He's
Now,
capable. He's not always that, though. And that's not to say he's not good. He's better than he was a year ago, clearly. It's just he isn't quite to that level. And that's not that he's doing anything wrong. He's just not there. And with Missouri not having anything better as a go-to, yeah, if the shots aren't falling or if the opponent goes on an 8-0 run or something, there's not really that on the floor presence that rights the ship. I feel like Nick Honor should be that guy, would be that guy, But with everything that's going on with his game, it almost like it almost takes away credibility in its own weird way, where he's too worried about trying to fix his own game to be leading the team, which is unfortunate. I really think he took what Dennis Gates told him to do, and I think he just went overboard with it in terms of shooting the ball more. That's my own personal opinion. Who knows? Maybe last year was the outlier. I don't know. But you don't have really go-to guys on a consistent basis outside of East.
Well,
Now,
and it's
I
more
was just
it's
gonna say the defense is a little bit better to help account for lack of offense, but still, the team struggles to score the basketball.
it's worth noting as well, Eric. I think everybody across the board is really underestimating the loss of uh, Caleb
Uh,
Grill.
oh, girl, yeah,
Quite honestly, because he had that real high energy in your face defense. Yeah, he struggled offensively, but in the Seton Hall game, I think he would have been the guy who would push you over the edge defensively, and would have kept that game a lot closer. So they didn't have to come back from like 20 down, and the team just looked out of it for the first 30 minutes of the game. And if you insert him in there with the energy, it might have gotten him going.
yeah.
The other player is John Tanjay, who's coming off injury. Who knows what he's capable of, because he hasn't gotten into the swing of things, mainly because he's fighting off some type of leg injury that we're not sure what was going on there. So he's just getting into the swing of things. The most minutes he saw was in the Seton Hall game. So who knows what we have out of him still too.
Yeah, the lineup is getting solidified, but I'd argue it's really starting with Friday's bragging rights game against Illinois and moving forward. Let the freshmen get all sorts of playing time. Because as you said, this is a gap year, transition year, whatever you want to call it. This is the year to just make sure that the thing doesn't completely implode and wait for the star-studded, number one, number two ranked class in America to hit campus.
Yeah, get Butler out there, get Robinson out there, get Pierce even out there. Make sure Shaw is continuing to get experience and grow. I mean, get Lewis out there.
Yeah,
Now, as you said, now is the time to even develop these guys. Lewis is a junior, but I mean, he still could develop a little bit and be a big role player for next year.
his first year out of JUCO.
Yeah, and he's still trying to get up to speed with Division One. So get those guys the experience they need, get them prepared, get them ready to usher in those highly valued, highly touted freshmen, and let's see what happens next year.
Yeah, specific to this Illinois game, oddly enough, I think Missouri, as it's constructed, has a little bit more of a shot than a lot of people are going to think. The line came out Thursday with Illinois favored by 6.5, which I could see Mizzou covering. I could see that being a great line. I could see Illinois winning by 20 or 25. And part of that is just the fact that it's bragging rights. As we said at the beginning, we have no idea what's going to happen. And frankly, the fact that it's bragging rights is Missouri's best chance in this game. Weird stuff happens in this game. I mean, hey, come on. Conzo Martin had a winning record in this series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know how it always happens. It's the split crowd, just the energy in the building. It's going to be really interesting to see how this team handles it, especially because I don't think we have a true St. Louis on the roster now. The last couple of games, we had a couple of St. Louis guys just take over because they wanted to show off. But it'll be really interesting to see how this game plays out. I do think, as you have mentioned, Mizzou might surprise Illinois in the sense of they're a much taller team now.
Yeah.
Connor Vanover can change games. Yeah, he doesn't give you a whole lot offensively. But get him out there and get Butler out there. I think it could cause a lot of problems. The biggest key in this game would be defending the perimeter with those two underneath, in my opinion.
You know, Missouri almost is like a Big Ten team. They don't score a ton. They're not terrible. They're not Conzo ball offense, but they don't score 85 points a game like they did a year ago. But the defense is better. So compared to last year, anyway, they've taken a step toward being a Big Ten team. And I wonder if at least being a little bit more suited to that style of ball helps them against a team like Illinois, who for once does not have a guy who's 7'1", 240 or whatever. You know, now that Kofi Coburn has used up his 16 years at Illinois. Uh, that matchup, it might be the type of game Missouri needs to play for the rest of the year to have success, honestly.
Yeah, and if they do pull out the one, it could give them some confidence going into the conference season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A win here, who knows? A loss here, especially a bad loss. Look out. The SEC schedule, it opens up pretty tough for the Tigers. The schedule did no favors to Missouri. So, yeah, a bad loss in this game, and things can go sideways real fast to the point where you're having to make up a little bit of ground just to find yourself in the NIT.
Well, and I think, yeah, I was gonna say, really, in my opinion, I think the goal of the season is to get to a tournament, any tournament whatsoever, just for experience.
Yeah, I mean, the NCAA tournament, I think, is the goal. Now that you've been there, they set the program in the right direction. It just looks like that's not probably what's going to happen this season. So, yeah, to your point, get the NIT if that's what you have to do, and get your freshmen at least some sort of postseason experience.
Well, and the other thing this game will do is we had our freshmen in the Kansas game, and they really seem to struggle in that type of atmosphere. Well, you got another tournament type atmosphere with this game. I think after handling that Kansas game, it'll be real interesting to see if they're much more acclimated to the pressure, if you will, in this game. So I'm really interested to see their play and how they do against Illinois.
Yeah, bottom line, David, it's been a worse than hoped for non-conference. I almost said preseason, non-conference. Even the Jackson State loss aside, I think it's not quite what Mizzou fans were hoping for. Need to overcome a 20-point deficit to beat Minnesota, who's going to be last in the Big Ten. The Pitt win that's got to be the best win of the season, and in your non-conference, that's just not good enough. You know, beating Illinois would be a big step forward, but they got to get there first. And that's going to be, hard. One, Illinois is a top 15 team. And the fact that Illinois, remembers last year where they absolutely got boat raced. And the entire second half was just a coronation of Dennis Gates as, the savior of Mizzou basketball. So yeah, this is going to be a motivated Illini team, making it all the harder for Missouri in this game.
On the bright side of things, we're welcoming them in the holidays, Eric.
Hey,
and you know what that means. We're only a week or so away now from the Cotton Bowl. So
yeah.
while we've had all this,
that one,
yeah, while we're having all this negativity around the basketball program just on how they're doing this year, make no mistake, the recruiting class coming in is on a roll. Football is on a roll in all things. It's a good time to be a Tiger.
Yeah, I'm not going to even say it's negativity around basketball. It's just kind of the solemn acceptance of, okay, this is going to be a bit of a gap year.
If anything,
and, all right, this is the transition because we got more. Missouri fans got more than they expected in year one, and now this is kind of what rebuilding the program is supposed to be like.
If anything, it's just been kind of under the radar this year, just because of how well football has been doing, and all all the news that's been coming out on that side. So, I mean, as you were alluding in a way unintentionally, it's kind of been the preseason for the Tigers, and nobody's been paying attention because everyone's focused on football.
Right.
But hey, we're welcoming the holidays. We'll keep you up to date on all things Mizzou sports with Under the Arch. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll have a football preview for the Cotton Bowl coming out here soon too. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Wish everybody happy holidays. Take care.